Brittney Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia, in a man's prison, which I had no idea about.
Brittney Griner is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Caitlin Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittney's closet that she probably wants to.
Brittney Griner has reportedly gone into full crisis mode after startling medical details emerged following her altercation with Caitlin Clark. Shocking revelations from doctors have sent ripples through the WNBA and beyond, casting the entire controversy in a new light. As the league scrambles to respond, Griner remains silent, while the truth begins to surface, challenging everything we thought we knew about the incident.
And Caitlin Clark. Now, Brittney Griner literally represents the woke trifecta in sports. She is black, she is gay, and she is a woman. However,
what's more shocking, the explosive medical revelations about Brittney Griner, or the WNBA's deafening silence in response. The entire league has been thrown into turmoil, and Griner is reportedly in full panic mode for reasons that go far beyond her controversial comments about Caitlin Clark. Medical experts have come forward with findings so startling, they make Griner's trash white girl remarks seem trivial by comparison. The continued silence from both Griner and the league office isn't just raising eyebrows anymore. It's starting to look downright incriminating.
Please point though, I think it is important. If the inverse had been said by a white person, just imagine the outrage that would be taking place right now. There is just so much hypocrisy in every institution, but particularly the WNBA, who are very fond of virtue signaling. But even when it comes to Brittney's exchange for like the Merchant of Death, which is insane, by the way. But had that been just like a straight white girl, my guess is that straight white girl would probably still be rotting.
Let's start with what actually happened during that now infamous game. Brittney Griner elbowed Caitlin Clark in what many are calling a deliberate and violent act. As she walked off the court, cameras captured her clearly mouthing the words, "trash, finessing white girl." A moment that was confirmed by multiple lip-reading experts and widely interpreted as having unmistakable racist intent. But this is where the story takes an unexpected and deeply troubling turn. Medical professionals who reviewed the footage didn't just analyze Griner's words, they began examining her physical movements and behavior on the court. What they discovered has sent shockwaves through the sports medicine world, raising serious questions the WNBA appears desperate to avoid. This isn't baseless speculation or internet conspiracy fodder. These are seasoned medical experts identifying physical and neurological red flags that demand a formal investigation. And so far, the league's silence speaks volumes.
But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. And one of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram stories from years and years ago. It says on here 109 weeks ago, and I believe this was screenshotted and posted a year ago. So quite a while. Let's go ahead and watch this, and we'll talk about what we think after.
By you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Yo. Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss.
The first major red flag that drew medical attention was Brittney Griner's bone structure and muscle development. Sports medicine specialists with expertise in gender-related athletic performance began closely analyzing her physical frame, and what they found didn't align with typical patterns of female athletic development. Her shoulder width, jawline, and overall skeletal composition display traits that are exceptionally uncommon in biological females, even among elite athletes. But the medical scrutiny didn't end there. Experts went on to assess Griner's voice characteristics, movement biomechanics, and even her injury history. Taken together, these factors have led to a growing medical consensus, one that could have serious implications for both Griner and the WNBA. Multiple independent professionals are now openly questioning whether proper biological verification was ever conducted to confirm her eligibility for female athletic competition.
Explanation is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute.
Panic that Griner is experiencing right now isn't just about facing consequences for her racist comments. It's about the possibility that these medical revelations could expose something much bigger. The doctor's findings suggest that there might be fundamental questions about her eligibility to compete in women's sports that have never been properly addressed or investigated. Here's where it gets really interesting. From a medical standpoint, the analysis of that Instagram post showing Griner topless revealed characteristics that multiple doctors found inconsistent with female anatomy. The chest structure, muscle definition, and overall torso development showed patterns that these medical professionals typically associate with male physiology, not female athletes who've undergone any kind of surgical procedures. Griner, the WNBA's Brittney Griner, is in fact a man, and where a lot of this actually surfaced from. And I mean, you guys could probably say like, yo, isn't it obvious? Like that her voice, you know, there's a lot of things that you can kind of look towards. However, this video actually resurfaced. It's an Instagram story from, I believe it says 109 weeks ago. I can't see from here, but over 2 years ago, that this video was recorded, and it was recently leaked on Twitter. So Kelly, if we can go ahead and play this video, please, and then we'll have a discussion. You, Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the out of the Instagram AI detection system's failure to flag the content, as female nudity isn't just a technical glitch, it's evidence that automated systems designed to recognize biological characteristics didn't classify Griner as female. These AI systems are trained on thousands of images and are extremely accurate at identifying biological sex characteristics. The fact that the system allowed the content to remain posted suggests it recognized male anatomy. Medical experts are also pointing to Griner's injury patterns and recovery times as additional evidence supporting their concerns. Her ability to absorb contact, recover from physical stress, and maintain muscle mass follows patterns that sports medicine associates with male athletes rather than female competitors. The difference in bone density, muscle fiber composition, and overall physical resilience creates advantages that no amount of training can overcome. The psychological analysis is equally damaging. Mental health professionals who've studied the footage of Griner's attack on Clark point out behavioral patterns that suggest deep-seated resentment and anger that goes beyond normal competitive intensity. The calculated nature of both the physical assault and the racist verbal attack indicates psychological issues that might stem from identity confusion or internal conflict. But here's what's really sending Griner into panic mode. The medical community is now calling for comprehensive biological testing that would definitively answer questions about her eligibility for women's sports. These tests would include chromosome analysis, hormone level testing, bone density measurements, and muscle composition studies that would provide irrefutable evidence about her biological status. The WNBA's complete silence about these medical revelations is absolutely deafening. They've had multiple opportunities to address the doctor's concerns, order independent testing, or provide any kind of clarity about Griner's eligibility status. Instead, they're acting like none of this is happening while continuing to protect Griner from any meaningful consequences for her behavior. Medical professionals are also raising questions about the league's testing protocols and verification procedures. How did someone with Griner's physical characteristics get cleared for women's competition without raising red flags? What kind of medical documentation was provided, and who is responsible for verifying its authenticity? These are questions, and that go to the heart of competitive integrity in women's sports. The panic that Griner is experiencing is also related to the legal implications of these medical revelations. If it's determined that she's been competing under false pretenses, it could invalidate years of achievements, championships, and records. The financial Implications alone could be devastating, with potential lawsuits from other athletes who lost opportunities to someone who shouldn't have been eligible to compete. Sports medicine experts are pointing out that the physical advantages Griner displays aren't just minor differences. They're fundamental biological advantages that create unfair competition. Her height, reach, bone density, and muscle mass provide benefits that female athletes simply cannot match through training or natural development. These advantages become even more problematic when they're used to physically intimidate and assault smaller female competitors, like Clark. The medical analysis of Gurrier's aggressive behavior toward Clark takes on new significance when viewed through this lens. If Griner has been hiding biological advantages while competing against biological females, then her physical assault on Clark becomes even more egregious. It's not just unsportsmanlike conduct, it's potentially a biological male using superior strength to intimidate and harm a female competitor. Mental health professionals are also weighing in on the psychological impact this controversy is having on other female athletes in the league. Watching someone with questionable eligibility physically assault and racially abuse the league's biggest star sends a message that female athletes aren't safe in their own sport. The psychological damage goes beyond individual players to affect the entire culture of women's basketball. The medical community's involvement in this controversy has legitimized concerns that were previously dismissed as conspiracy theories. When trained medical professionals start raising questions about competitive eligibility, it becomes impossible for the league to ignore or deflect those concerns. The scientific evidence demands investigation, not silence. Medical experts are also pointing out the broader implications for women's sports. If these concerns are validated, the precedent that would be set by allowing someone with questionable biological status to compete and dominate could open floodgates for similar situations across all women's athletics. The integrity of female competition depends on clear biological boundaries that are properly enforced. The panic that Griner is experiencing is also related to the potential criminal implications of her assault on Clark. If medical analysis determines that she used biological male advantages to physically attack a female competitor, it could elevate the incident from simple assault to something much more serious. The legal system takes a very different view of violence when there are significant physical disparities between the parties involved. Sports medicine professionals are calling for immediate implementation of comprehensive testing protocols that would verify the biological status of all WNBA players. The current system of self-identification and minimal documentation is clearly insufficient. For maintaining competitive integrity, female athletes deserve to know that they're competing against other biological females, not against individuals with hidden advantages. The medical revelations about Griner also shed new light on her previous comments about crowd noise and fan reactions. Her complaints about increased attention and scrutiny take on new meaning. If she's been hiding something that could be exposed by closer examination, the defensive posture and victim mentality make more sense when viewed as attempts to deflect attention from uncomfortable questions. Medical professionals are also analyzing the broader pattern of aggressive behavior that Griner has displayed throughout her career. The consistent use of physical intimidation, the pattern of targeting smaller players, and the apparent enjoyment of causing discomfort to opponents all align with behavioral patterns that sports psychologists associate with individuals who are hiding significant secrets about their identity or eligibility. The panic that Griner is experiencing extends to her support network within the WNBA. Other players, coaches, and league officials who have protected and enabled her behavior are now potentially complicit in a much larger scandal. If the medical evidence proves what many are suspecting, it could implicate numerous people throughout the organization in covering up competitive fraud. The international implications are also significant, given Griner's previous legal troubles in Russia. If medical analysis reveals that she was competing under false pretenses while representing the United States in international competition, it could create diplomatic complications and raise questions about other American athletes' eligibility status. Medical experts are pointing out that the evidence they've identified isn't based on speculation or bias. It's based on observable physical characteristics and measurable biological markers. The scientific method doesn't care about political correctness or social pressure. It only cares about facts, and the facts they're presenting are extremely uncomfortable for Griner and the WNBA. The psychological impact on Caitlin Clark is another aspect that medical professionals are addressing. Being physically assaulted and racially abused by someone who may have been hiding biological advantages creates trauma that goes beyond normal competitive stress. Clark has shown remarkable resilience, but the psychological toll of competing in an environment where her safety and dignity aren't protected could have long-term effects. Sports medicine experts are also highlighting the precedent that this case could set for addressing similar concerns in other sports and leagues. The medical analysis techniques being used to evaluate Griner could become standard protocol for verifying competitive eligibility across all levels of athletic competition. And the implications extend far beyond women's basketball to affect all of women's sports. The financial panic that Griner is experiencing is also related to potential loss of endorsements, sponsorships, and future earning opportunities. Companies that have supported her career are now facing questions about their association with someone who may have been competing fraudulently. The reputational damage could be devastating for her long-term financial prospects. Medical professionals are emphasizing that their concerns aren't motivated by discrimination or prejudice. They're motivated by scientific integrity and competitive fairness. Female athletes have spent decades fighting for equal opportunities and recognition, allowing individuals with questionable biological status to compete against them undermines those hard-won achievements and could destroy women's sports entirely. The panic that Griner is experiencing is also related to the potential impact on her legacy and place in basketball history. If medical analysis determines that she gained unfair advantages through hidden biological characteristics, it would taint every achievement and record she's accumulated. The historical record of women's basketball could be fundamentally altered by these revelations. The medical community's involvement has also legitimized calls for transparency and accountability that the WNBA has been trying to avoid. When respected medical professionals start asking questions, it becomes impossible to dismiss those concerns as bigotry or ignorance. The scientific evidence demands answers, not deflection. The broader implications for competitive integrity in all sports are what make this situation so significant. If the medical analysis confirms what many are suspecting about Griner, it will force every sports organization to reevaluate their testing protocols and verification procedures. The ripple effects could transform how athletic competition is regulated and monitored. The panic that Griner is experiencing right now is just the beginning as more medical professionals examine the evidence and add their voices to the conversation. The pressure for comprehensive testing and investigation will become impossible to ignore. The truth has a way of coming to light, especially when medical science is involved. The most damaging aspect of these medical revelations isn't just what they suggest about Griner individually, it's what they reveal about the WNBA's willingness to ignore obvious concerns in order to protect certain players. The league's credibility is at stake, and their continued silence only makes the situation worse. The medical evidence that's emerging paints a picture of systematic failure by the WNBA to properly verify competitive eligibility and protect female athletes. If these concerns are validated through comprehensive testing, it could represent the biggest scandal in the history of women's professional sports. The medical revelations about Brittney Griner have exposed a scandal that goes far beyond racist comments. Doctors are demanding answers that could change women's sports forever. Griner's panic is justified because the truth is finally coming to light. Hit that like button if you think comprehensive testing should be mandatory, and subscribe for more explosive updates, all from Hoopspective.